Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Can you imagine, just for a moment, if Paul Revere's ride happened today? With our wussy liberal environment in this country, here's how it would probably go. The British are coming, the British are coming. Put up the gun-free zone signs and run to your safe space. Oh, brother. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Here's Kate. Good morning, everybody. Oh, there she goes, the lovely Kate Smith. God bless America for this morning. Good morning, I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and of course some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them, get on the route service, 734-6969. Right now, without further ado, our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, Seth. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Go ahead and give us the pledge, please.
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just imagined who this is. I just remembered the voice, and God bless you for calling. Thank you so much.
Yes, see you at lunch bunch.
Oh, thank you. That's a lovely lady. Very, very nice. All callers, welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We've got a full plate today with a lot of different subjects, but right now we're going to get to the weather forecast. And the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And now, here's Gina with the weather forecast.
It looks beautiful as we are preparing for the weekend, and this high-pressure system is going to be sticking around for a couple more days, but we will be cooling off for the weekend. Looks like partly cloudy skies for today, high of 77 with an overnight low of 49, a little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the southeast, right around 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 76, overnight low of 53. For the weekend, mostly sunny skies for Saturday, winds out of the west, right around 10 miles an hour, high of 67 with an overnight low of 41. Mostly sunny and 68 for Sunday, and then partly cloudy and 55 for Monday, plus the winds are going to be picking up for Monday as well. Yesterday's high was 81, the overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
I appreciate that. Great job, Gina. Thank you very much. And don't forget Kyle and Whitney Cheney. They were married in October, so for celebration, they're having a huge fall sale right now all the way through the month of October. Everything discounted in the store at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Merv May, come on in here. Sell some cattle. Where are you, Merv?
All right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard with sale time at 11 a.m. today, the sale that works for you. They're located at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Kay Draghi, and Lance Udy. And, of course, the number to call for cattle consignment information, sale information, 678-9411. Got a ripping good set of calves coming in here today. Lots of them. The Cottle Ranch over at Model bringing in 50 head of mixed calves. They're going to be good ones. And Cuno Ranches over at Burley bringing in 100 head of mixed calves. And P-Bar S Dairy bringing in 25 head of 1,200 to 1,500 pound Holstein heifers. And butcher cows coming in from the TLK Dairy, Oak Valley Dairy, and Acme Dairy. Boys, don't miss this. Going to be a good sale today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale time at 11 a.m. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, and 5.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I want to stop right here, and normally we keep on rolling with different commercials and starting into different topics and everything, but the young man that works with me here in the morning is my engineer and board op. I call him Wheels, real name Damon, and he's under the weather this morning, has got some physical problems that we certainly hope are going to be addressed and taken care of, and we have running the board this morning one of the nicest, sweetest, never gets upset ladies in the world. Gina Jameson, how are you?
Well, good morning, Sunshine, and how are you doing today?
Well, I'm concerned about my itty-bitty buddy because I tell you what, I have grown to really like and cherish that young man. Both Deanne and I do. Mm-hmm. And if he's listening this morning, Damon, doggone it, get up, get to feeling better, and be back here because you are missed. We really appreciate you.
He is very much missed. Of course, we truly appreciate him here at the studios as well because he helps out quite a bit, and he's just got such a sweet little disposition. So when he got a hold of me last night and kind of filled me in on what was going on and needed me to cover him for today, I'm like, not a problem at all. Just make sure that you get better. So, Damon, if you are listening, you know, we're sending out tons of prayers to make sure that you're back here on.
I couldn't agree more. I know it just kind of hit Deanne and I in the face. I knew about him not feeling well yesterday, and I warned my itty-bitty buddy that he'd better let me know how he is, and so I want to extend the very best of thoughts and prayers to him this morning. So, doggone it, Wheels, if you're listening, you get better. Okay. But we're not at all shy on talent this morning because we have the nimble mind and fingers running the board of Gina, so I know we're going to be very well taken care of. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you were still over there.
No, I'm still here.
Sometimes, you know, the weirdest feeling in radio is that when you're talking to someone or you're doing a remote broadcast and then all of a sudden you say, well, how do you think about that? What do you feel about that situation? And
nothing.
There's nothing.
Crickets. And you feel all alone and you feel like everybody left you and then you just want to say, oh, no, help. But no, truly, I'm
you know Jim McCall, my dear buddy. You know Jim. I was on the phone with him this morning on the cell phone. And I was talking away, and then all of a sudden I realized it was a one-sided conversation because either his phone or my phone had died. So it's a weird feeling.
I have had that happen a time or two, and then you're like, hello?
Yeah,
hello?
yeah.
And then you just realize you were having a conversation with yourself.
Amen. Anyhow, I want to remind everybody that we're having lunch bunch today at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. We'll be telling you more about that later this morning. Don't forget our thanks also go out to Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Walmart, Stokes Groceries for providing our door prizes. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, my goodness. You heard Gina with the weather forecast just a few moments ago. This high-pressure system is going to all of a sudden go boop out the door, headed east, and it's going to get cooler. Yeah, a lot cooler. And so if your little toesies hit the floor in the next couple of days and you got to turn that furnace on, you better make sure that it's working efficiently. So stop in or give them a call. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. All your furnace filters to make sure that furnace in the basement is happy and working well for you. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Don't forget, like I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to be at Denny's, and that's going to be at 11:30 for our lunch bunch. You know, the menu is just absolutely delicious. You can look at the menu and just start salivating, and then all of a sudden you pick your choice that you want, and oh, is it good. Well, we're going to be over there at 611 Overland this morning at 11:30. And we urge you to come to our lunch bunch. And don't forget, if you're in Twin, they've got another location at 291 Pole Line in Twin Falls. America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. It is good. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Gina, I know you've got things to do, but I'm occasionally going to throw the mic at you a little bit. Are you aware of a very dangerous commuter train crash in Hoboken, New Jersey this morning?
I have caught little clips and bits of the train wreck. Of course, it was featured on our news at the top of the hour. I'm hoping everybody is okay.
Well, they are saying that there's been so-called hundreds of injuries, but what really chilled Deanne and I is that we have been on that very same train, on that very same platform, at that very same station in Hoboken, and it brings a note of realism to you when you think about where you stand on the platforms waiting for the trains and everything, and how all of a sudden it just must have accelerated. We don't know all the facts. I'm surmising that this is what happened. Accelerated and hit everything, and there were people pinned underneath the cement and underneath the platforms. It kind of gives you a little chill to think that, yeah, you were standing there one time not too long ago, about 2 or 3 feet from the rails that absolutely, I guess when this train hit, it obliterated everything. So it's kind of spooky in a way.
It is very spooky. Actually, I'm trying to get online so I can read up on this story. I'll fill you in if there's any further updates. But you know, when you've been on an airplane or maybe a train or a bus or whatever, you've taken that same route, and then you think to your mind, you know, that could have been me.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Well, you never do know, and there's so many things that I have had an occasion in this life to be at, observe, and be a part of. And then you read in the newspaper, like some of the terrorist activities that have taken place over in Spain. I was there in some of those exact same places. I mean, right within a block of where some of this stuff has happened, and it gives you kind of a chilling feeling.
It really, really does. I pulled up the story, and it says that over 100 injuries resulting from the crash.
Wow.
Apparently, the train crashed through a wall and severely damaged the station, and it left debris and twisted metal columns all over the place. And so it looks like it's a very, very serious accident.
You know, Gina, I don't know if you've ever been on one of those commuter trains that takes you from either Hoboken back through and across the Hudson into Manhattan. But then when they pull up to the terminals, a lot of people, like you've seen in various movies, etc., they'll be standing there inside the terminal. Not the people that are going to be getting on the train initially, but they'll be standing there in the terminal, and you'll be watching through the glass windows, basically see the train come at you head on.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm envisioning, of course, I don't know all the facts. You're getting it firsthand probably over there on the services right now. Deanne's getting some too. Man, that has got to be a tragedy and a mess if it crashed through those cement barricades and actually went into where the people were waiting for other commuter trains.
Oh, let's hope that it didn't. Let's see, what does it say? There are at least 100 people injured, at least one confirmed death.
Oh, no.
Service into and out of the Hoboken station is suspended. Let's see here. That's all that they've actually got posted at this moment in time.
Wow.
So I'm kind of watching and reading the live feed as it's happening.
Oh, my. Well, I appreciate the updates. Thank you very, very much. Barry Equipment and Rental, they're going to be with us later on today. We're going to be talking to Juan. So don't forget, they've got 3 locations, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Repair shop extraordinaire. Equipment rentals, retail equipment sales. They have all the equipment for you to get the job done right. Be sure and get a hold of Barry Equipment and Rental today. 3 locations serving you. And don't forget that one right there at Highway 30 in Burley. You betcha. Rod and Juan, we're going to be visiting with Juan later on this morning from Barry Equipment and Rental. I am, for those of you that are interested, I made the comment the other day that you don't have to go to SeaWorld to see whales. You can just go to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation and see me in the water in the hydrotherapy pool. Oh, but it works. Oh, my goodness, I love that thing. It's got a treadmill in the bottom, and it has really, really helped me. Well, all the exercises, all the sports medicine, everything with their very, very knowledgeable staff of physical therapists at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now, they can, and they will help you get back to being you. Number to call, 678-1191. Call today. Please tell them Zeb sent you. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Wow. Did everybody sleep in this morning? Well, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to talk a little bit about how there is going to be egg on the faces of not only our lawmakers, congressmen and senators, but also people right here in this area. The Times News, the College of Southern Idaho with their refugee system, and, of course, even the Twin Falls City Council and others that have downplayed and actually ridiculed people for being concerned about Middle Eastern refugees coming into this country. This morning, I have been sent at least a half a dozen stories that have been written by very reputable sources, including one that appeared in the National Review, written by Jessica Vaughn, Director of Policy Studies, Center for Immigrant Studies, and the other by Alex Pfeiffer with the Daily Caller, and they specifically go into the lack of knowledge from a very poor screening process for refugees to find out if they have any radical views. These stories kind of intertwine with each other, and a State Department official yesterday on Wednesday could not answer the question whether refugees are screened for radical views during a Senate hearing. Republican Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions asked Simon Henshaw, Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary at the Bureau of Population for Refugees and Migrants of the U.S. Department of State. The question was, do you make any inquiry about practices that we reject in the United States, like female genital mutilation? And then Jeff Sessions added, do you believe in that? And when you come to the United States, will you comply with the laws of the United States on that kind of question? The State Department official replied, on all questions, we make it clear to refugees that we are a nation of laws and that they need to comply with our laws. But then Jeff Sessions said, wait a minute, but don't you ask them whether they would comply with that law? And the State Department official said, I can't answer that question. I don't know. And when Jeff Sessions asked Henshaw if they inquire about refugee supportings of honor killings, Henshaw definitely didn't answer the question. He instead pointed to a cultural orientation program. Oh, goody. This is unreal. And then, as a follow-up, I found a 6-page story from the National Review that absolutely says in great big bold print that the process of screening has been undermined. These are the words in the National Review. Has been undermined by the Obama administration's notorious rubber stamp get to yes policies, which aim to facilitate the admission of as many immigrants as possible. Folks, I submit to you that it's almost laughable, but it's way too serious to even giggle. How we are being led by the nose over such a serious situation, and we honestly don't know who these people are. Now more are going to be coming in, over 100,000 next year. And then if Hillary gets elected, good heavens help us all. No, we can't let that happen. She wants 6 times that number. And we don't know who they are. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you, too, about our dear friend, Dr. Christine Pickup, over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and the number to call to get a hearing screening is 312-0957. Don't forget, they're located right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, and the number is, again, for you to make an appointment, a very important appointment, to make sure you've got good hearing, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, old friend.
Let's just say friend. You don't have to be nasty and say old.
Okay. Yeah, my feeling on this, and I'm entitled to my opinion, so is everybody else. But my opinion on this, it is by design.
Well, Doug, when you say, wait a minute, when you say by design, be more explanatory. What do you mean is by design?
The subject you were talking about, bringing all these Muslims in and vetting them. And
yeah.
It is by design. I was speaking with a gentleman from the Malta area. One of my customers come in and we got talking about it. And he knew a family that lived right next door to some Muslims. And he said they grew up together, the kids played together, they went to school together, they hung out together a lot, and then one day the 2 boys went over and killed the whole family.
Oh, my goodness.
And they said when they get the call, they will do it.
Well, wait a minute. Why are we chastised and criticized, and boy, have I taken a lot of heat lately. Why are we criticized and rebuked for our attitudes and our concerns when that is a part of their ideology?
It's what is right is wrong and what is wrong is right. It is putting down the Christians. It is an evil ideology. And, it's a battle between God and the devil.
Yeah.
And God is using us Christians, and the devil is using everything he can to throw at us.
I was having a conversation the other day, Doug, with some people, and one of the parties involved was pro-immigration and pro-gimme everything. And one of the parties said that how dare we, the richest nation on earth, how dare we shirk our duties to help others? And I thought, how dare this person say this to me because of the fact that we're a very caring and giving nation, but right now our resources are being depleted. They're dipping into Social Security to where it's not going to be existent before too long. They're providing all the amenities of health care, education, and housing at a free level, and we, the American taxpayer, are picking up the tab. I mean, come on, caring and giving, don't give me that.
That's exactly right. I fail to understand their thinking and what they think is going to be the result of their actions. They don't think it through. I mean, when the call comes up and all these Muslims are here, and the call comes to eliminate the infidels, what's going to happen? We're going to have everywhere. It's going to be chaos.
We are turning a blind eye and a deaf ear, and I will at this juncture use the terminology radical Islam. I will use the word radical at this juncture. I'm not going to encompass everyone into that. But you know something, Doug? It only takes one person here. It only took two people in San Bernardino. It only took one in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You know, the numbers don't have to be amazingly high. They can be very minimal and cause death and disaster that this country is totally ill-prepared for.
Yeah, it took one over in Italy to drive that truck through the crowd. You know, it's really scary what's going on, and it makes me feel the end time is coming soon, because that's what it says.
I agree with you. Doug, I got some more calls waiting, but you're always welcome. Thank you very much. God bless you, man. Thanks. Caller, I'll be right with you, I promise. Don't you get nervous and hang up. Don't take another bite of that bagel. I'll be right there. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric. Along with our dear friends Lennox, they're offering qualified rebates on Lennox home comfort systems. All you have to do is call and check it out. 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, they can save you money. And real quick, before we take the caller, Minnecaster Sales. Hello, Zach. How you doing? Over at Burley, right across from the airport. I'm telling you, these are the nicest people with all your windows, the western windows. You know, the chill is in the air, and you don't want the chill that's in the air to come through the windows into your home. Well, check out the western windows and save on your heating bills this winter. And check out all the great buys on lumber right there at Minnecaster Sales. 1321 East Main Street in Burley, sponsoring Dr. History on Tuesdays at 10:06. Caller, thank you for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, could we talk about James Comey for a moment?
Yeah, I was going to get into that story next anyway, but go ahead and start it off, and I'll follow your lead.
Okay. You know, what is, I don't know the words to even express it, what is criminal intent? You know, he says, James Comey says that he did not want to go any further with this case with Hillary because there was no criminal intent. Selling your country down the drain is not criminally intent.
Okay, let's stop for a minute here, Keith, and let's really be fair in our verbiage about this story. It is coming out more so every day, and it's not just a partisan knowledge. It's both sides of the fence kind of looking at this situation and going, holy cow, how could the FBI, with all of the allegations that needed to be addressed, how could they come up with a nothing was wrong, nothing was illegal final verdict, basically, from James Comey and the FBI? But what he and the FBI did to allow Hillary and members of her mafia, and that's what I'm going to call it, to basically admonish the rest of us in saying, well, we're not going to testify, you can't force us, we're going to plead the fifth, we're going to get immunity. How did the FBI grant all of these things, immunity, etc., to people that should have been put on the witness stand and answering questions about how some of the illegalities with the State Department happened? We don't know, we probably never will. And the FBI totally dropped the ball.
Well, to me, it is entirely an inside job because most of us, when the FBI gets after us, we would be shaking in our boots. Hillary, it didn't bother her one bit, as if she knew what this outcome was going to be.
Well, you know, Keith, I mean, really, come on. When you have the Department of Justice, Loretta Lynch, meeting on the tarmac in the jet with Bubba Bill Clinton, and it's right before all of these information series take place, before these hearings. Come on, Keith, I didn't fall off the melon truck yesterday. You know as well as I do there looks like a little coercion going on there.
Yeah, and you're messing with the Justice Department now. One of the, highly thought of organizations in the United States.
Yeah.
And they're making mockery of it.
Well, it's just absolutely devastating, I think, to most Americans that held the FBI in the highest regard, and now they're looking at the FBI with a jaded eyesight that, I don't know if we can trust them or not. Keith, God bless you for your call. And by the way, your wife did a nice job on the pledge.
She did, and she even said, "Do you care if I call?" And I said, "Absolutely, call him and give the pledge."
All right. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Take care. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A very well-known former judge made a statement this morning about the FBI. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Don't forget Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street in Hayburn. They have warm hearts for cold noses. I love it. And they're having a fundraiser right now during this month, and I think it's still going on, for the Cassia County Canine Units. All you have to do is go in and buy a paw print for $1. Come on, and they'll hang it up with your name on it. And the proceeds go to the health care of the dogs, equipment, and food for the Cassia County Canine Units, thanks to Ark Animal Hospital getting involved because they have warm hearts for cold noses. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again.
Yeah, well, you must be really upset.
Well, I wanted to add to Keith's comment about what he was talking about, Loretta Lynch. Did you hear that she was on Hillary's short list for the Supreme Court?
Oh, yeah. The apples are not falling and rolling away from the tree. They're all staying in a bunch in a basket to be used at a later time.
Exactly. And if this doesn't upset enough people out there to show how corrupt these people are, and they shouldn't even get a ticket to go through the White House in a tour, let alone be there for 4 years.
You know, let me ask you something, and I was going to talk about the former judge. Well, I'm going to name who the former judge is. It's former Judge Andrew Napolitano. You know who I'm talking about, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He speaks very well. He lays it out in layman's terms, and he lays it out legally.
All right, well, he said something this morning on television at 10 minutes to 5 on Fox News, being interviewed about this mess with James Comey. And when he said these remarks, I said to Deanne, this man had better be careful. He came right out and blatantly said that he believes this problem with James Comey and the FBI was a top-down push. Right straight from Obama, right to the FBI. Do not get Hillary involved in any legal allegations. And he said that on television this morning, and, you know, it makes you wonder. That took a lot of courage, I think.
It did. Well, even Ray Charles can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, if you can't see that, you've drank way too much Kool-Aid and you live under a rock.
What does it tell you about our society today and our government? Honestly, when you talk about the lack of screening and vetting of our refugees coming in and the lies from the Obama administration. And then yesterday, I'm going to get into this story in just a moment. Maybe you heard about it. A Gold Star mom that lost her son over in Afghanistan just absolutely looked at Obama in a meeting yesterday, and she said, "Why do you not say radical Islam?" And he gave her approximately a 4-page answer, and the answer was to hide her question. It was never answered the way it should have been.
And the politician two-stepped, didn't he?
Absolutely. But the whole point I'm getting at is, Doug, how can you and I, Gina, anybody else in this country, how can you, whether you're Democrat or Republican, independent, or just don't give a darn, how can you look at our government today and say, holy cow, there are a lot of sleaze and sleaze people operating in our government, and we're not being told the truth?
It's very true. And I've said many, many times, when the politicians get back there and they put them in front of the country, they have sold their soul to the devil for the almighty dollar.
And it's very unfortunate, but it's growing and looming more ominous on the horizon. You know, when you thought of the FBI, excuse me, when you were growing up, you and I are not that far apart in age. Herbert, what am I trying to say? The leader of the FBI formerly, and he had a lot of holes in his screen door. But the FBI has always been a pillar of justice and right. And now I can't look at it that way.
I can't either. They're the Keystone Cops to me. What they've done here, like I've said, they've just sold their soul.
And honestly, it's another bastion of American greatness that now we are starting to question.
Well, yeah, exactly. And this government is so corrupt. I mean, it would make the Mexican government look like an ideal government to live under. It's just terrible.
Well, I just absolutely, when I look at the news every morning. Oh, by the way, let me ask you something else real quick. And callers, I want more people to call on this. Did you know? And I've checked this out, and we're finding out this is true and factual. I haven't had anything negative come back on this to say it's not the honest truth. If anybody out there can tell me that this is a wrong story, I will throw it in file number 13, never to mention it again. But right now, we've snoped it and everything else, and we can't find anything that says it's not true. Were you aware that after 9/11, Russia gave us a beautiful 100-foot tall statue to honor the victims of 9/11, but there's never been anything seen or said about it, and it is called the Teardrop Memorial. Are you aware of this?
First I've heard of it.
Well, let me tell you, you can look it up, and I've got a colored picture of it. And it's called the Teardrop Memorial to honor the victims of 9/11, supposedly given from Russia. But now let me throw a little sinister into the story. You know that Barack Obama absolutely hates Putin, right?
Oh, yeah.
They don't like each other. They won't shake hands. They won't look at each other. It's not just a real buddy-buddy relationship. Now, I'm putting this out to you, Doug, and the rest of the audience. Do you think that the reason there has been no publicity on this, basically, and people have seen it, but they've had to look for it, is because of the fact that if Russia, Putin, gave this teardrop memorial to the United States, Obama just basically will not acknowledge it whatsoever? That's what I'm putting out to you.
Well, I know he wouldn't. I mean, they don't even send each other Christmas cards. You know, so it's sad, and I'm going to look into that.
Well, please do.
Memorial.
And I ask people if they hear anything that is at all fraudulent about this. I want to know, but I'm just saying this is what has been given to me. I know that Deanne looked into it extensively yesterday. We've had some other people look into it extensively yesterday, and it's coming back positive that it is a true story. But I don't even know about it. I don't even know where it's put up, if it's at all put up.
And when was it given?
It says basically that Russia gave us, the United States, a beautiful 100-foot tall statue to honor the victims of 9/11. It's called the Teardrop Memorial, and it is located in New Jersey across from New York City. That's all I have. That's absolutely all I have. I have never seen or heard a thing about it before this. I have not seen anything when we celebrated 9/11, of which we should have highlighted something like this on 9/11. We did not.
That's true. We should have, because it's showing the world is coming together, that they're not the real evil people that we think they are. But, I mean, the way he runs his country is you can't speak out, like your radio show wouldn't even exist in his country.
Well, the way things are going in this country, let's not get too hasty in saying that it's going to last here, too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I also just read, too, that Obama's turning over control of the Internet to a foreign entity.
Yeah, that's been a story that we've covered extensively in the last, I'd say since February, when my dear friend back in Washington, D.C., Seton Motley, kind of helped break that story. There are so many things that are being given away. There are so many things that are being taken away. And we still have, according to my trusty little countdown to Obama leaving, 112 days left with this man. Now, I throw this out on the floor for discussion. I think we're not going to see anything but negative from Obama before he leaves.
I pray we survive it.
Yeah. Doug, got to run. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I'll see you at lunch bunch.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, weather forecast ready to go, and the weather is being brought to you by, boy, I tell you what, Kyle James and his great folks, they are at 3 locations serving you with health problems that come up, minor emergencies, major care. Riverview Urgent Care at 382 North Overland and Burley. Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin Falls. And Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue Way in Jerome. And don't forget, at all the urgent cares on October 5th, they're going to be having a flu shot special, just $15 per flu shot at all the clinics. Don't you forget that at the urgent cares. And right now, here's the lovely Gina with the weather.
It looks beautiful as we are preparing for the weekend, and this high-pressure system is going to be sticking around for a couple more days, but we will be cooling off for the weekend. Looks like partly cloudy skies for today, high of 77 with an overnight low of 49, a little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the southeast, right around 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 76, overnight low of 53. For the weekend, mostly sunny skies. For Saturday, winds out of the west, right around 10 miles an hour, high of 67 with an overnight low of 41. Mostly sunny and 68 for Sunday, and then partly cloudy and 55 for Monday, plus the winds are going to be picking up for Monday as well. Yesterday's high was 81, the overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zebba Duran.
Oh, thank you much. Great forecast. She's very, very informative on what's going to happen and what we hope won't happen. Anyway, the weather brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care in Twin, and Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome, and minor emergencies, major care. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your call. Hello, caller.
What's that?
I said, go ahead, caller, please.
Okay. You know, years and years ago, a man told me a phrase, and I'll remember it the rest of my life. And he was a sheep herder. And he told me that you can fleece a sheep many, many times, but you can only skin him once. And I've made that a part of my life for as long as I can remember.
All right, I agree with you, but this is in regards to our susceptibility and believing like what's going on with the FBI, et cetera. I'm sure, is that what you're tying this to?
I'm trying to, but these people are blatantly doing it, and you might say they're able to skin them once again.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the FBI.
It's a shame that a very famous, very respected organization as the FBI is underneath this kind of scrutiny and this kind of negativity right now, and I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's going to get worse. Keith, God bless you. See you at noon. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bye.
Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Honestly, Deanne pulled this off for me this morning, this story about this Gold Star mother. And Tina Hutchins was her name, and she said very succinctly, Mr. President, as a Gold Star mother, my son gave his life for the acts of terrorism. Do you still believe that the acts of terrorism are done for self-proclaimed Islamic religious motives? And if you do, why do you still refuse to use the term racially? I'm sorry, Islamic terrorist. And then Obama. He goes into a dissertation, and I have it here, and it's a rambling, long, 3 to 4 pages long answer to this woman, and it just basically takes the question that she asked about why do you refuse to say Islamic terrorists, very simple question, and in these ramblings and these paragraphs of nonsense, he never answered the question, but he totally buried the question. He buried it. And then Jake Tapper stepped in, and he tried to interrupt Obama and tried to get him back on track and see if his rambling answer had something to do with the GOP nominee, Donald Trump. And Obama kept stuttering and saying, no, I wasn't, but, and then he goes, because, no, that's Obama without a teleprompter. And I give kudos to Jake Tapper for basically holding Obama's feet to the fire and interrupting a answer that could have gone on for another 10 minutes and never answered anything. Typical political baloney. I had to stop for a minute and hold my tongue. But this man has refused to call terror what it is. And this lady, this Gold Star mom, very simply asked him why yesterday. He wouldn't answer. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, of course, offering qualified rebates on Lennox home comfort systems with qualified Lennox equipment on gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call them at 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox can save you money. You know, I'd like to take a little poll some morning. And I'd really like to find out, and I hope you'll call if we notify you a day in advance. If you would call your friends and neighbors, even those that are very liberal, and ask them honestly, do they believe the balderdash that's being given to us by this administration and how they skirt the issues and basically hide from the truth and hide from giving us direct answers? This deal with James Comey, FBI director, yesterday, for those of you that saw it on TV, many of the interrogators, if you will, in that hearing, they started to make him feel very, very uncomfortable. Well, finally, he had had enough after a couple of questions, and you could see the crack in his personality, and he started to lose his temper. But the protecting the FBI for a what appears to be very biased and not well done investigation, I think is going to be a black mark on the FBI for a long, long time. By the way, I wanted to also comment this morning before I get into my last commercial. For those of you that are wondering about, what's happening with NFL viewership on TV thanks to the stupidity of the Colin Kaepernick sitting and kneeling during the national anthem, well, they've taken a lot of polls and conducted a lot of research numbers. Viewership is at an all-time low for NFL games. And many of the people, many of the team fans have been questioned and polled, and they said, hey, if anybody on my favorite team takes a seat or takes a knee during the national anthem, I'm turning that game off. God bless these people for showing that they're standing up for our flag and standing up for what's right and wrong. And this appalling spread of disrespect for our flag has even spread to the New York City Council. Some of these absolutely disrespectful people, oh, by the way, they were Democrats, sat during the national anthem the other day at a council meeting. The cancer grows. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. and all 7 locations serving you. Oh my goodness sakes, they go to work in the morning with a big smile on their face, knowing that you're going to drive in and that they can be assistance to you. Absolutely, whether it's with their big fall tire sale. They've got many tires on sale right now that are for your passenger cars, your pickups, SUVs. Oh my goodness, don't pass up the savings. And don't forget the very best in brake service. And of course, the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries. I want to stress batteries this morning because you better go in and have a battery check, and maybe your battery's getting a little run down. Well, they've got batteries for every vehicle. You stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, our major sponsor, and we thank them. Oh, man, we got a busy hour next hour. We're going to have the Chamber of Commerce report with Kyla. Lovely lady. 9:12, we're going to be giving away an original Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's America's Diner if you could answer the football trivia contest question. And then at 9:23, we're going to be having Dog Nation with Colonel Ken. And 9:30, Rita's going to be on, starving to death. Oh, my goodness, we got a full plate. I thank you very much for being here every day. And once again, our prayers go to my little buddy, and that's Wheels. He's a little bit under the weather today, and we certainly hope that everything goes in his favor. Wheels, we love you, man. Hope you're back in the saddle with us on Monday. Right now, we're going to turn it over to the main studio, taking us up to CBS News. Oh my, kind of cloudy outside with patches of blue intertwined. Good morning, everybody. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Big fall tire sale going on right now. And also some of our great advertisers like our friends at Western Waste Services.
Canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho.
You thought the season for porta potties was all done? Think again, Bunky, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of usage going on now for all the harvest going on with the spuds and the beets and everything. Oh, my goodness. If you need porta potties, you be sure and give them a call, 734-6969. Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Locally owned and operated, and these folks really care. They do a real first-class professional business, Western Waste Services. We're going to be going to the Chamber of Commerce report in just a moment, but yours truly, I'm so busy. I got to take care of this first. I want to remind everybody about Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates. I love that word. On qualified Lennox home comfort systems, whether it's gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, whatever, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Yeah, buddy. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, they can save you money. You know, on this program, excuse me for clearing my throat, hay fever season. How many of you have hay fever right now with the sagebrush and everything? Raise your hand. Holy cow, keep one hand on the wheel. Me too. But this season has been really starting off a little bit rough. And if you hear me sneeze or sniffle or cough, that's the reason. I apologize for that. Don't forget, to our friends at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Now, I talk about them every day. I really am so honored to have them on the program. Joel Heward and his family and his staff, always serving you and your family with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity when there's the passing of a loved one. So please remember to call them and get more information. Or if you need them to come to a rural town or church in your area, just give them a call. They will be there. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert, serving you and your family. Well, let's see what this vivacious little blonde is up to today. Good morning, Kyla at the Chamber of Commerce.
Hello, Deb. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm just rosy. What's going on at the Chamber next to the river, watching the ducks and looking out at Mount Harrison?
Well, there's quite a lot going on in the community this weekend that we have to report. And one of the most favorite attractions is back. Have you ever been to the Haunted Mansions of Albion?
No, I haven't. As a matter of fact, I've never had the opportunity.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, this is the largest haunted attraction in the Northwest, and it's right there in Albion at the old college. And I had a preview of this thing, and honestly, I'm going to be honest, 8 and under not recommended. The price is $20 per person. I had a sneak peek about a month ago before they had the whole thing cranked up with the actors in makeup and all the fun stuff. And it's incredible. It's actually 4 separate locations that you can go through for that price on the college. So there's the School of Chaos, which you can only imagine what that is. The House of Clowns. I know there's a lot of people out there that have a thing about clowns, and so that's going to get them. There's also the Zombie Academy, and then you also get to explore historic Comish Hall. And it is just crazy incredible. It's not just a haunted house. It's a haunted experience is really what it is.
Well, now,
you can find out a lot more information if you go to their website, Haunted Mansions of Albion, or just look up Haunted Mansions of Albion on Facebook, and that'll take you right to the site and how you can get tickets.
Is it?
It is crazy. So if you get a chance, Deb, I'll go through it with you.
Okay, you're going to hold my hand?
I'll try. There's some spots in there that it's pretty interactive where, you're just holding on to the railing for dear life. It's really, really fun. So, yes, I would hold your hand, Deb. We'll make it through together.
I don't really like being scared. It's funny, and I know a lot of people are going to go, wussy, 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 wussy. But, when I was growing up, and the movies like the originals, of course, you're too young. You don't remember the originals of The Mummy and Frankenstein and Dracula with Bela Lugosi and all that kind of stuff. I didn't enjoy that.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I would go through it with you. I think you should give it a whirl. If we could make it through one of the houses, then I think you can call it good. But honestly, you're going through the actual structures, some of the different halls and the different buildings there. So it's not like you just go in and you're out in like 2 minutes. This is like plan to go for the entire evening type of event with your family and your friends.
Well, is it one of those kind of scary mansions where you better take some equipment with you, like maybe an oxygen tank and also some Depends?
I think they have portable restrooms outside, so yeah, I would definitely bring a change of clothes maybe for some of you out there.
Okay.
But it's a fantastic event. Some other things that are going on I want to make sure and mention in our time today is that the American Legion Post 77 in Paul, Idaho, on Saturday evening is doing their traditional chili and cinnamon rolls dinner, one of my favorite types of dinners to attend, and that is their fundraising event that's going to be taking place right there in Paul at American Legion 132 West Wayne Street in Paul. And the cost is just $5 at the door. So if you're looking for supper, easy, fun activity to help out the American Legion, head on over to Paul. They'll be cranking things up around 6 p.m. and it finishes at 8.
Oh.
And last but not least, we've got the 4-H Carnival taking place over at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds. And that is this Saturday. It's in celebration of National 4-H Week. And so the 4-H Teen Association will be having a carnival to showcase the projects. They're going to have archery, fishing, turkeys, horses, something for everyone. There is no cost to attend, and the youth will earn Clover tokens to redeem for prizes. And that's starting at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday over at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds, and it gets done at 6 p.m.
Wow. Do you have a full plate this morning? Thank you very much, Kyla. Now, how can everybody get a hold of the folks over at the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, give us a call. We've got lots of events on the calendar coming up in October. Things get really busy. 679-4793, or go ahead and get on the website, minnecassiachamber.com. click on the events tab, and you'll be able to bring up every month and see everything that is going on. So much to do here.
Okay, now wait a minute. I cannot allow you to leave without giving us your famous witch's laugh.
Oh, no. I don't know if I can do it. I have to wait till October. That's the tradition, isn't it?
All right, well, I'll wait. I'll wait till October, but practice up on that, okay?
Okay, I will definitely do that.
All right, thanks, Kyla.
Great day.
All right, thank you much. Over at the Chamber of Commerce, Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, our lovely lady, Kyla, the director of the Chamber, and doing a great job over there. Holy cow, it's time for the football trivia contest, and we're going to go through some of the high school games around the area that are coming up this weekend. So stay tuned for that. But first and foremost, Denny's football trivia to win a free Grand Slam breakfast, an original Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's at 611 Overland in Burley. And here is the question. Fairly easy question this morning. Boise State University has played this team on numerous occasions and has been victorious. But let's go ahead and ask you the name of the mascot for TCU University. Kind of an odd name, odd mascot. What is it that they have for a logo on their helmets and also considered to be their nickname for TCU University? Give us a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear what you have to say. A very tough football program, TCU, down in Texas. What is their mascot? Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead quickly.
Yes, the Horned Frogs.
Well, who is this?
This is abrasive caller.
Well, I know many of those, so the head abrasive must be Randy. How are you?
This is Randy.
Okay. You're right. It is the Horned Frogs. You know, really, of all the names of colleges and their mascots and their logos, you know, you got the Cardinals and you got the Broncos and you've got all kinds of different names. How would you like to be known as a Horned Frog?
Well, I guess there really is such a thing as a horned frog.
Oh, there is.
I guess there must be, huh?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's down there.
I've never seen one, but
I have had the occasion, Randy, to be right there on the campus of TCU University. I used to do a lot of events, rodeos, etc. in Texas, and I've been over there on the campus, a very, very nice campus. But the Horned Frogs, you have won a free original Grand Slam breakfast because you know all about frogs.
Oh, I hope I know something about something else, but some days I wonder.
All right. Well, listen, I got to zip along to another deal, but Randy, God bless you, man. We appreciate it. That is the answer. The TCU, Texas Christian University, Horned Frogs. There you go. Now, looking at some of the games that are going on this Friday and this weekend for high school football, oh, my goodness, Burley's going to take on Wood River. Canyon Ridge is going to take on Minico. I got a feeling that's going to be a good game. I really do. And the Jerome Tigers are taking on Sugar Salem, and Twin Falls is going to be taking on Hillcrest up at Thunder Stadium. Wood River is going to be playing Burley, as I mentioned just a moment ago. I repeat myself. And Buell's going to take on Filer. Gooding's going to take on Kimberly. Ooh, Kimberly has got a good football program again this year. And Declo's going to play American Falls, and that should be a good game. Let's go over to Glens Ferry taking on Oakley. No, I'm sorry, that was last week. They're going to be taking on Chalice this week. Pardon me. Glens Ferry's taking on Chalice. Hagerman's going to be playing Valley. Interesting. That could be a good game, but boy, Valley's got a program. And let's see, the Murtaugh-Hanson combined team is going to take on Oakley. And let's see, moving on down to Shoshone and taking on Grace. And then all the way down here, Camas County is going to take on Dietrich. And Cary's going to play Lighthouse Christian. And that about features most of the games from out of this area. So good luck to everybody. High school football coming up this weekend, tomorrow night, exclusively. And on Saturday, of course, Boise State University playing Utah State. Let's see, I got to pay some bills here real quick. Don't forget that every day on this program, when we start things off, we have our weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, and look for the blue door. Oh my goodness, whatever you need to make your house a home, they can help you at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. You stop in and see these really, really nice people today, okay? Really good folks. And also, I want to remind you about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Holy cow, they have been with us on this program for a long time. Now, here's what you do. You need maybe a new dining room set. Well, look no further. They've got all kinds of dining room sets. You need maybe a lift recliner. Those are the handiest deals. Honestly, I'll tell you what, we bought our recliners from Lee's. They were phenomenal. And I stress the fact that you've got to get in and try them on. What do you mean, try them on? Well, if you're tall, if you're short, they're going to fit you different. If you're skinny or if you're not, they're going to fit you different. So stop in and check out the great selection of all the recliners, including those lift recliners for those folks that have just a little bit of difficulty getting out of a chair. Well, by golly, they've got them all for you right there at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. Really, really nice people. And I want to mention, too, something that is really important to Deanne and I, and that's our friendship and relationship and acquaintance with the good folks over at Let's Ride. I can remember vividly the day that Nick pulled in the yard with my 2 four-wheelers. I can remember vividly the look on my wife's face because I hadn't told her. I can remember vividly thinking I'm going to be sleeping on the couch for 27 years. But you know what? She loves to go four-wheeling, and it's a great way to enjoy Idaho's outdoors. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and they're having closeout prices on all the 2016 four-wheelers and side-by-sides, and the new 17 models are on the way in, and they've got all the accessories, and they've got a fantastic service department. What are you waiting for? You get in there and enjoy our dear friends at Let's Ride. Holy cow, I cut him short last week on time. I'm not going to do that this week. Where did all these dogs come from? I got them all over the studio. I got Dachshunds. I got St. Bernards. Look out, here comes a Doberman. Along with the Doberman, look who's holding on to the leash. It is Kennel Ken, our great friend with Minidoka Animal Control. Hello, Ken Mort.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
You sound so efficient and so professional. I am fine, sir.
Well, that's good.
All right. What's cooking in your world of doggies?
Well, today we want to feature Zeus. He is a male American bully. He is approximately 1 to 2 years old, brindle with white on his paws, his chest, and forehead. When he first came in, he was very afraid and jumpy at sudden movements and noises. But since he's been in our shelter, he's become a very loving dog. He loves to play. Even when you pull the hose out and start to spray stuff, he wants to play in the spray. He likes to play in the sprinklers. I mean, he's just a real fun dog. He does have scars on his head. We're not exactly sure what they were from, but he really loves Annette, the additional TLC that he gets. So if anybody's interested in him, Annette, definitely get a hold of us at 438-2200, 7268.
Yeah, Gina, would you please take his pulse and make sure that he takes an aspirin before he leaves the studio, because we don't want to get him lost out in a cornfield someplace.
No, I mean, I can rattle off his phone number better than he can.
The guy, it happens to everybody, but all of a sudden Ken just had that bubble that started at his mouth and went clear to his brain.
You should have seen the look on his face. It was priceless.
But yeah, he also weighs 57.12 pounds.
Oh, you can get that right, but you couldn't get your phone number right.
Well, it's one of them days.
Okay. Now listen, I got to ask you a question. You said this is a bulldog, right?
Yeah, it's an American Bully.
Now, what does that mean when you say American Bully? Is it the taller dog or the short, squatty dog?
It's actually the taller. They actually get mixed up with the pit bulls, but they've got all different breeds of the bullies and stuff. And that, I mean, and a lot of people look at them and say, well, no, that's a pit bull. It's a pit bull. It's a pit bull. They've got pit bulls. They've got American Bullies. They've got your Staffordshire Bull Terriers. They've got, Quarterbows. I mean, there's so many different bully breeds out there that kind of resemble each other. The only real way to tell them apart is either by their height or the blockiness in their heads. Each one of them has a different shaped blockiness to the head, but they all still have that bully breed type head.
Ken, let me ask you something, and the reason I'm asking all these questions is this. Monday, while I was on the program, my wife was working at her computer, looked out the window, and there was a big bulldog here that was in the backyard and had a collar, looked like a really nice dog, and then it took off. When did you find that dog?
Actually, we've had this dog since the end of August.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, his actual availability date was the 2nd of September, but we had an individual up in Canada that was interested. They were just trying to work on transport, but due to some changes up there that are going on, they turned around and had to back out on taking him. So we are now trying to find him another home.
Okay. Now, is he the kind of a dog that would be suited for just adults or also children?
He seems to be great around kids. I mean, just loves people. He does have an issue when it comes to other dogs, especially alpha males.
Yeah.
They tend, and that's typical, especially when you've got two intact males to have issues with each other. But, other than that, he just loves to be loved on by everybody.
Okay. And for more information, I'm going to put you on the spot. Kenny boy, what's the number?
Okay, they can reach us at the facility at 438-2200 or on my cell phone at 670-7268.
You're sure?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now,
also, I want to remind everybody about our shoe drive, our Shoes for Dogs at shoe drive.
No, wait a minute, Ken. Wait a minute. Whoa. Dogs wear shoes?
Actually, they do make shoes for dogs.
Yeah, I know, for the wintertime.
Well, actually, they've got shoes out there for individuals who go out hunting in some of the rockier areas.
Okay.
That they can put on their dog's feet to help them keep from getting their pads cut up by the sharp lava rocks and things like that.
The next time I go out hunting, I'm going to be watching for dogs that are wearing white loggers.
Well, they're not quite that kind of shoe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, the money that we're collecting from the shoe drive, the outfit funds to org. They turn around and purchase the shoes from us by the pound, and the money is going to go to helping us with our veterinary care, our spay and neuter program, and also our rescue transport program.
Okay.
And anybody who's willing to donate, the locations in Rupert are Valleywide Co-op, Rupert Animal Clinic, Ridley's, Rupert City Hall, our shelter, and Haruza Insurance. In Burley, it's Ace Hardware, D.L. Evans Bank there next to Walmart, Cal Ranch, and IBF. In Hayburn, there's Ark Animal Hospital, Hayburn City Hall, Animal Medical Clinic, and the Wayside Cafe. In Paul, there's Swenson's Market, and then also Ace Hardware stores in Gooding, Hagerman, and Shoshone collecting shoes for us as well.
Okay. Now, these shoes, quickly, I've only got a minute left, but now they kind of slip their foot into it, kind of a leather type thing with a lace-up that keeps it tight?
Actually, they have different styles. It's just a slip-on on it. It's got like a pad-type system on the bottom of it, and they come with, and most of them come where they Velcro on. But it's just something that slips on their feet, and they can walk around with them. It takes a little bit for them to get used to them, but once they get used to them, they don't even realize they're on.
Do you realize the money you could make with America's Funniest Home Videos if you put two of those dogs in there, put them on shoes for the first time, shoot that video, and watch these dogs jumping around? I'll tell you, that'd make a funny video.
Oh, I've seen when people put them on them for the very first time, and They do that, like when you get a horse that prances around.
Oh, yeah.
Really lifts their legs up high.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
Tape on Conway's kitty feet.
Pardon me?
Putting tape on Conway Kitty's feet. We've done that here at the studio. It's the same thing.
Like duct tape?
No, just, regular Scotch tape.
Oh, Scotch tape. Okay. Yeah, duct tape might take the hair off and then...
No. Don't do that.
Okay. I was just checking. I wanted you to be sure and not have the humane people call you. All right. Well, listen, do we have a call coming in for us quickly before I let you go? No, I don't think so. All right. Hey, listen, Kennel Ken, whatever your name is. Now you got me forgetting my number and my names. Enjoyed the conversation this morning. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. You too, Zeb.
All right. Go catch some dogs.
Will do.
All right. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? My goodness sakes, they're all over the place this morning. There's my buddy, Kennel Ken Mort. I've known that guy since he was in grade school. Used to be his baseball coach. Good guy. Minidoka Animal Control. Absolutely. Okay, don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, these are the professionals. Oh, they are dedicated and very responsive to your needs. My goodness, all you have to do is call. All you have to do is call and make an appointment at 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all this and more. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really good folks. I look forward to Thursdays, not because it's my last work day of the work week, but also because I get a chance to visit with a lovely lady, and that's Rita Ramsey. Rita, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm real good, thank you.
Okay, now, you know what I'm going to ask you about first and foremost. Did you watch the debate on Monday night?
Yes, I did, but I wasted 2 hours doing it. I felt like it was a total waste.
Yeah, I was really hoping for a real stimulating conversation, and she says, I wasted 2 hours.
Well, first of all, they didn't get to any details of anything that they stood for. It was just arguing back and forth, and then Lester, whatever his name... Lester Holt decided that he was going to be in charge of it, and so he starts asking questions that are no more relevant to this election than fly to the moon, and he's supposed to be just the moderator that goes back and forth. He's not supposed to be, deciding whether you told the truth or you didn't tell the truth or anything else.
Well, let me ask you this, Rita, and I'm very blunt about a lot of things, as most people that know me will say. If I were Donald Trump, and quite frankly and fairly, if I were Hillary Clinton, and those questions would have been asked of me, they didn't go to Hillary, however, they went to Trump, I would have reverted right back and said, Lester, you're the moderator and you're off track. I would have embarrassed him to that degree.
Well, he should have, and the thing of it is, and we all knew this ahead of time, so I don't know why Trump didn't address it as like he didn't know it, was that the Clinton campaign had got a hold of Holt and said, you better make sure that he fact-check everything, and then asked him to do this and that and the other. And I'm not so sure that there wasn't some kind of a or else behind it.
Yeah.
And so he felt like that he had to. I think that it was the same kind of a deal that they imposed on him, saying, well, remember when Matt Lauer asked a hard question of Hillary? Well, we kind of put him off in the pasture out on the North 40, and we're going to leave him there. And so I think that they just... made some threats with him, kind of like, well, you better do it or else. I thought it was totally irrelevant for him to get into the thing about, how come you changed your mind about Obama's birth certificate?
Yeah.
What did that have anything to do with anything?
Well, there were so many missed opportunities in that debate, and quite frankly, I'm just going to pick on Trump at the very beginning of our conversation, because he could have literally embarrassed our lovely Hillary into basically standing there and getting red-faced, and he didn't take advantage of a lot of things. But I want to stay with this moderator just for a moment. Lester Holt, I thought, with all the publicity and all the talk on the news and everything about what happened to Candy Crowley and how absolutely unable to do a proper job of being a moderator, Candy Crowley acted between Romney and Obama. I thought maybe that would have a trickle-down effect and they'd be more careful, but he did worse, in my opinion, than Candy Crowley did.
Well, he really did, and I read an article by John Linder, and he said MSM's passion for fact-checking politicians is a recent development. I don't remember them calling for fast-checking Secretary Clinton or fact-checking Secretary Clinton or President Obama on Benghazi when the entire world knew at the time that they were lying. So they pick and choose, and they only pick when it's going to be something that would be advantageous to whoever they're pulling for, which is Clinton in this case. I want to know how come Trump, I mean, you would have thought that he would have gone on several different avenues, and he could have won that thing hands down, just showing all of the things that she's had that have been debacles.
Yeah.
The deal with Benghazi, the thing with the Iran thing. I mean, there's terrible things. What are you going to do on immigration? Are you going to let in all the refugees and remind people that she's promising to bring in more refugees than Obama was wanting to bring in? And then there was the other thing that over the weekend, and nobody brought that up at all, and I thought it should have been brought up on Monday when they had the debate, was that on Friday night, after the news media shut down doing all their stuff, they dumped a bunch more emails out on the, out to be, well, yeah, they are already out there, and no, that's an old story, we don't have to do anything about it. But that proved that she was communicating with Obama via emails on her unsecured server.
Yep.
And nobody said anything about that. I mean, here she's doing all kinds of nefarious things. She's not doing the things that are best for the country, and nobody says anything about it. And Trump should have brought that up right, found an avenue to just bring that right in there.
One of the things I learned, and I've been involved in a lot of debates, is that, and I've heard other people say this, it's not anything close to being just solely my idea, but it is true. In a debate, take what the opposition gives you, process it, and throw it right back in their face. Trump didn't do that.
Well, he really didn't, and the thing that's kind of bad about it is, Hillary would bring up all kinds of stuff, and she was trying to get this lying Trump thing going and whatever, But the thing of it is that Trump could have brought up several things that would have left questions in people's minds about what she has in plan, So what are you going to do with Obamacare? What does that have?
Absolutely.
What do we have in store with that? What about the Syrian refugees? What about and just on and on and on. And he didn't. I just could not believe that he couldn't find avenues that would take him there with all that was going on.
You have opened up a door of opportunity right here to discuss this refugee system. I have had this morning quite a few different stories on my program in regards to how we have been lied to or information has been jaded regarding the refugees. You know my stand from listening to my program on more refugees coming into this area. I'm absolutely against it. And now a State Department official yesterday on Wednesday could not answer questions as to whether refugees are screened for radical views. The screening process and the vetting process, if you will, Rita, it's a joke, but it's not funny.
Well, it really isn't. And what are they supposed to say? Are you involved in that? Nope. Okay, go ahead. We'll just let you go through.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to check on it. The part that's bad is that, when they were asking questions, Senator Grassley asked, so what's the number of Syrian refugees you expect to admit in fiscal year 2017? Well, the White House hasn't given us a target yet for next year's Syrians. We anticipate it'll be above 12,005, but I don't have a number other than that. This is an assistant from the State Department. He said, typically in our program, we don't set nationality numbers. We only set numbers by region. It was unusual last year for a particular number, a Syrian number, to be set as it was. And Grassley said, well, you may have answered this question by saying 12,000. Would you say that the range is in that area of 10 to 15,000? He says, well, I can only say that I expect it will be above 12,000.
Oh, my.
So you know darn good and well that it's going to be well above that if he would actually admit it's going to be more than that.
You know, Rita, and I went through so many documents since yesterday, thanks to my lovely wife helping me get all this information put together with some of our people back in Washington, D.C. and New York. And a story that was written by Jessica Vaughn for the National Review, and this one paragraph just kind of sums up the problem. The process of questioning and finding out more on the vetting process for immigrants, and it says here in this story, and I quote, has been undermined by the Obama administration's notorious rubber stamp get-to-yes policies, which aim to facilitate the admission of as many immigrants as possible.
Well, yeah, they don't even hedge thinking that it's okay to say that. The State Department has declared that there were 77,388 refugees in here by September 13th, and they're confident that they'll reach their goal of 85,000 by September 30th. So they're saying, well, we want to bring our total to 110,000 in a single fiscal year. So they just keep telling you it's going up and up and up and up, and their thing is, just like, you know, we've talked about before, the old overwhelm the system so it'll collapse.
Yep. We have a caller with a question, and we'll ask the caller to go ahead and state their question quickly, please. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Zep, I wish that Trump would have looked at her and said, you want to be the president and run this country, but you was over a organization that lost $6 billion that you can't account for, but you want to run the country. I wish he would have looked at her and said that.
I agree with that concept of your question, and caller, thank you. Rita, he did, like this caller just absolutely conveys, Trump did a lousy job of taking what's given to him, processing it, and then throwing it back in Hillary's face. He didn't do that.
You know, it just makes me wonder if he's just so stubborn, like, I'm going to do this on my own, and no matter what practice I've been going through and what questions I've gone over and looked at the facts and everything, I'm still going to say what just comes into my mind. And basically his mind sounded empty to me, because it wasn't like he had a bunch of facts or anything else that he could go with. It was absolutely just, I felt like a waste of time. I didn't learn anything.
You know, I'm going to ask you this, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you and I are both very outspoken, and I'm sure you'll give me an answer on this. But I have taken my own little survey of people all over this valley, be it Twin Falls, be it Jerome, be it Eden Hazleton area, whether it's here, Burley, doesn't make any difference. And I have yet to find someone that is in favor of this refugee program that's going to be operated, more numbers coming in thanks to the College of Southern Idaho Refugee Center. I can't find anybody that's in favor of it.
Well, there isn't anybody that's in favor of it. The only ones who's in favor of it is the legislators who are letting it just go past, and the governor who are saying, oh, well, there's really nothing we can do if they put them in here. Well, they're opening their hands and motioning with their thumb across their fingers that they want the money, but we don't want the other stuff. And by the way, I hope I don't have to answer to anybody. There are people that could be doing stuff, just like Texas is, we talked about this last week, that could make sure that we don't have any of that come here. But they're not concerned about our safety. They're not concerned about our sovereignty. They're only concerned about money and putting money into their pockets, because a lot of that money that comes in here, it doesn't come in to take care of the refugees. It comes in here to filter as a laundering machine over to the political outside.
Rita, would you and Glenn open your house door with a knock on the door and welcome in any number of people that are going to come into your home, take up residency, sit in your easy chair, take over your bedroom, take over your kitchen, and get all the free food, get free housing, and you're going to pay for their education and their health care? That's the same analogy as what's happening with these refugees coming in.
Well, it really is, and that's why I don't understand why we don't have some legislators that are really, mulling this over and saying, hey, we've got to make sure that no more of this happens here. And until there's some really drastic things happen and people get madder than mad and start really hollering to their legislators and the governor, nobody's going to pay attention to it.
I will say this, that the next debate will be a town hall setting. That might be more in Trump's wheelhouse. He might be more comfortable with the surrounding of the audience and the working of the crowd. I think that is a weakness of Hillary's. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that it could. I still don't understand how come he can't, start throwing, even those of us who don't debate could come up with some better things than he did. And so I hope that it will. I also hope that they'll call Hillary out on the carpet on some of the things that she needs to be asked about. It's for darn sure that if they've got a liberal moderator, they're going to get in her park and they're going to let her do whatever she wants, and they're going to try to, shame Trump into this and that and the other. What in the world, why in the world would it matter one bit that Miss Venezuela, he called her Miss Piggy? What did that have anything to do with anything? She was part of a business that he owned, and she had agreed to certain stuff, and so big deal. Why didn't they ask her the questions of, well, you were arrested for driving a getaway car for a murder thing, and she didn't even deny that she was part of that. Why didn't Trump ask? So now you're hanging around with somebody who's been part of that, and and they don't even deny it?
Absolutely.
It's just ridiculous, the things that he could have brought up and let them go in the direction that could have just torpedoed her.
Absolutely. Rita, have patience with me for a minute. I've got to get a weather forecast in here, and when we come back, I want to talk to you about, I think, the demise of a American institution that has been revered and honored, and that's the FBI, and now it's falling apart. Stay tuned. Right now, we're going to have the weather forecast brought to you by Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company CPAs. Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, Heather Daly, and Lyden Crane. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area well over 50 years. Whether it's tax return preparation, tax planning, financial statement preparation, business consulting, retirement planning, please contact the professionals. They can and they will help you. Don't forget, Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company, CPAs, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It looks beautiful as we are preparing for the weekend, and this high-pressure system is going to be sticking around for a couple more days, but we will be cooling off for the weekend. Looks like partly cloudy skies for today, high of 77 with an overnight low of 49, a little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the southeast, right around 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 76, overnight low of 53. For the weekend, mostly sunny skies for Saturday, winds out of the west, right around 10 miles an hour, high of 67 with an overnight low of 41. Mostly sunny and 68 for Sunday, and then partly cloudy and 55 for Monday, plus the winds are going to be picking up for Monday as well. Yesterday's high was 81, the overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zebba Duran.
Thank you, Gina, and of course, the very best helping you with your financial situations, Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company CPAs, with offices in Burley and Rupert, bringing you the weather this hour. Rita, I was really cringing when I watched James Comey in front of that congressional hearing. You could see the veins in his neck starting to come out. You could see him start to get really agitated and irritated. But the FBI, in my opinion, has absolutely stepped on its own foot, and they have lost credibility.
Well, they really have, and I think before it's all over with, if somebody will do their homework and do some investigating, they'll find out that Comey has a history with the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation, and that there's reason why he would turn his head and not really go after this kind of a thing like they would in a regular circumstance. Because you know, and so do I, that if you and I were in that boat, we'd be sitting in jail.
Well, I just can't imagine some of the FBI agents have, and they're remaining anonymous, and I can respect that, but they have come forward and said, wait a minute, there is no way with our investigation that Hillary could be innocent. She has a multiplicity of charges that could be filed against her and the people that work for her. And it's all been for naught. Now it's all blue sky, and everybody expects it to blow over.
Well, that's what they're hoping will happen if we just kind of, push it aside a little bit and then keep scooting it just a tiny little bit with our foot away from us, that pretty soon it'll be so far away that nobody will pay attention to it. But I think that if it was a Republican that had done the things that Hillary did, they would have ended up resigning 2 or 3 years ago, easily. I think that they'd be in jail.
There was a statement made this morning, and I wonder if you saw it. It was by Judge Andrew Napolitano, and he was very direct in his wording, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the direct quote. But he said he was asked about this mess with the FBI and James Comey, and he said, I have had a lot of respect for James Comey in the past. Now I have none. I believe that he was pressured from the top down, meaning Obama right to him, to lay off on any investigations that might incriminate Hillary Clinton.
Well, absolutely, and that's even more, that if he had integrity, he would have called a press conference, got a bunch of his people to stand around him and said, this is what's happened, and I've had people from right upstairs at the top of the White House telling me that we needed to quell some of this information, and I'm not going to do it. Here it is, and put it over, and then whatever comes may come, but this is it. And it's really too bad, because there's really only been a few people that have actually done that in the Obama administration, and one of them was the general. Well, there are a couple of different generals that said, "Hey, you're not going to hold me to that. I'll just up and quit, or you're not going to make me, your lapdog. I'm just not going to do it and take off, and I'm out of here," kind of thing. And it's really too bad that he's as corrupted as he is, but he has no business. He's conflict of interest all the way down on this Hillary thing, and he shouldn't be involved in it one whit.
What did you think of the Gold Star mother that yesterday had an opportunity to ask Obama a question directly in regards to why, sir, will you not say the terminology Islamic terrorists? Her son was killed over in Afghanistan, and she asked him a direct question, and he went on and on and on for over 3.5 pages of dialect and never really answered the question. He buried the question. This man absolutely will not give a straight answer.
Well, he won't, and that's the way that he's always been. Whenever he's been asked a question, he always starts off on something else, hoping that they'll forget what the question was and take up his time so they can't say, but I asked you such and such, what's the deal? He just absolutely won't. That's typical for him. I could see no reason why he would change in, any of these stripes and actually give an answer to, besides the fact that it would show that he was definitely, in violation of protecting our country.
You're right. We've got a quick caller. Caller, it's got to be short. No elaborating. Go, please, quickly.
Are you ready for me?
I am. Go.
Okay. I'm watching Judicial Watch. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, quickly, please.
Okay, I think they got him. Clintons.
What are you saying, ma'am? It's not very clear as to what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is they've got a panel, and they're going to get rid of the FBI director? It's streaming live now.
Okay. We'll do some research on our end, and I appreciate your call and alerting us to this, and I'll have Deanne get right on it. We'll check it out. Caller, I thank you, and God bless you for your call. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Rita, respond quickly, please.
I appreciate the heads up, and Judicial Watch has a lot of things going, and they have a lot of people behind them that they can actually file some lawsuits and make a big noise with some of this stuff. I think that's exactly the direction that somebody needs to be going, and I'm glad that they've taken the lead on this.
I am too, and I thank that lady for her call. I hate to be rude, Rita, but I'm flat out of time. I've got to get into another segment before the news. Please, I'm looking forward to next week, more conversation. Rita Ramsey, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Woo! Interesting conversation. And to that lady, you know, I had somebody tell me the other day, well, why aren't you doing this and why aren't you talking about this? Because I can't sit here and do 30 things at once, but my lovely bride's checking it out. Thank you, Rita Ramsey. We do appreciate it. Right now, oh man, I've been on a self-imposed diet. And at this time of the morning, I get so hungry, I'd like to just put tooth marks in the microphone. If you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go. Like La Hacienda, West Main, the old Chadwick building in Burley. Oh my goodness, lunches start at just $6.20, and they've got 16 different choices. And everything is served fresh. None of that canned stuff in here. No way. They're great. It is fresh. It's delicious. At La Hacienda, West Main, the old Chadwick building in Burley. Well, how about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? Oh, my goodness sakes. I tell you what, right around the corner, they're going to have the pumpkin shakes for the month of October, along with maybe a chicken fried steak sandwich and some fries and that special sauce. Knock your boots off delicious. Or maybe a famous Farmer Brown burger. Oh, ho, ho, ho. It's delicious at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And let's move on over to Burgers Etc. Two locations to serve you at 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. They've got corn dogs and burritos, only 99 cents after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Are you kidding? And every Sunday at the Burley location, delicious shrimp dinners. Oh, my goodness, great staff, nice people at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, how about our friends at Taco Bandito? Man, oh man, they remodeled the whole place at 2301 Overland and Burley, made it bigger, made it more comfortable, and you gotta get in there and check out. If you haven't had one of those breakfast burritos with scrambled eggs and bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, and sauce, oh, it's delicious. You're gonna love it at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, let's not forget, too, Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. My goodness sakes, buffalo burgers. Yep, made with real buffalo, and it is delicious. Fresh hand-cut fries and kids menu and great servers, dedicated staff, really nice people at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. That puts us over to El Caporal, 610 Overland and Burley. Oh, my goodness. Lunch, dinner, drinks, parties, whatever you need, it's all there at El Caporal. And don't forget the red salsa. Delicious. It's excellent. Dining on a budget? Well, I'll tell you what, they welcome families at El Caporal, 610 Overland in Burley. And last but not least, Pooter's Pizza. I love Pooter's Pizza. Holy smokes, it's delicious at 725 Minidoka Avenue in Burley. Number to call 679-7492 inside the Snake River Bowl. And along with that, they've got huge hand-pressed burgers too and delicious oven-baked sandwiches at Pooter's Pizza, 725 Minidoka Avenue in Burley. Whew! Those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't you go away. Oh, my. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, last hour. And, of course, Zeb at the Ranch is brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call 734-6969. Real quick, during the last hour, a lady called in regards to Judicial Watch and the attorneys really checking out the different key issues that are going to be looking at Hillary Clinton and all the illegalities, and some of the sound bites coming across on the internet, etc., that have been taped. All I can say is I certainly hope, and I mean this, I certainly hope that justice will prevail. And a very evil family, a very evil political machine, the Clinton machine, will be taken down. Sure, I'm prejudiced. And I think in this case we all should be. Because right now evil and lawlessness seems to reign supreme. Calls are welcome, 436-2244. I got time for a call or two before we go to our Cassia County School Days. And I want to remind you again about our dear friends with Lennox. Let's not forget them. By golly, Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox can save you money. Absolutely. In just a moment, we're going to have Cassia County School Days, but I want to remind you, I got to get this in real quick, that the Senior Junction Pumpkin Function, one must be careful when he says that fast. Senior Junction Pumpkin Function will be frightfully wonderful on October 27th. We're going to have a remote broadcast over there at the Senior Junction, and costume contest, the best for Halloween, prizes, and a huge, ghoulishly delicious breakfast starting at 7 in the morning, going till 10. It's going to be fantastic. Creep candy for sale, T-shirts for sale, only $15, so be listening. And all the net proceeds go to the Meals on Wheels, one of my pet projects, and I certainly hope that you'll be a part of it. That's October 27th, Senior Junction Pumpkin Function. Okay, we'll tell you more. We're going to be giving away some tickets, and we're going to be giving away some T-shirts and everything over the next couple of weeks, so please write that down, October 27th, Senior Junction Pumpkin Function. There you go. Right now it's time for the Cassia County School Days segment, and it's brought to you by two great folks, two great businesses. First of all, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. Oh my goodness, hundreds and hundreds of shirts from $8.99. And they've got all kinds of jeans over there and socks. Socks galore. By golly, I'll tell you, and the new coats have arrived too at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, remember, for your outpatient surgeries, they can and they will help, and they can save you money. Don't forget to hand surgeries, cataract surgeries, colonoscopies, and the only place in southern Idaho for glaucoma surgery too. Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley, along with A Child's World, now bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And we have with us the counselor from Burley Junior High, Lisa Castaneda. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I want to ask you, did I say the last name correctly or not?
That was great.
Oh, well, we're off and running. I understand that being the counselor from Burley Junior High School, that you're leading a program called Sources of Strength. What does that mean?
Sources of Strength is our kind of upstream preventative suicide intervention program. We train peer leaders to help get the message of hope, help, and strength out to their peers here at the school and community at large anyway. So just lots of strengths that everybody has: family support, positive friends, mentors, healthy activities, generosity, spirituality, medical access, and mental health. Just teaching that common verbiage to all of our students, and hopefully so they could take it back to their homes and just, improve just all of our functioning as a whole. So,
Lisa, let me ask.
Think about suicide.
Let me ask you this. I did not know in my high school back in the 60s anyone that was to that point of despair. I did not know anyone during my 4 years of high school that was capable or wanted to do harm to themselves. Is it more prominent today for some reason than it was 30, 40, 50 years ago?
Well, I'm not for certain that it's more prominent. I think we're just more open with internet being accessible so easily for kids. That everybody's a little more open to express any ideation. And whether they would act on that, we can't tell, but we just need to see that obviously our world has changed since then, and there's more avenues to express oneself, and so I think it is just more prevalent because it's more accessible to find an avenue to express any kind of thoughts.
Okay, now I'm going to say something to you, and you can feel free to rebut this, but I'm going to say that back in my day, I think there was more of a tougher, get tough, solve the problem attitude than there is today. And I think there is also today more peer pressure to go along, to get along, than there was in my day. I mean, if we didn't like somebody or some group or whatever was going on, we just basically shined them on and went and did our merry thing. Is it different today?
I think so. Again, we really don't understand the huge beast that is the online world. I think all of our kids are plugged in. So once they leave our school, there's another life out there that really continues on their phones a lot of the time. And so more interaction than we had. We kind of left school and went home to our families, and that was that. But it seems like, we're kind of more plugged in now. And, yeah, we have kind of more time to have those influences, pressures around us. So, yeah.
You just said something that I'm not going to let you get too far down the road without elaborating on. First of all, you said beasts of the online services, like the internet, etc. Why did you refer to it in that manner?
Well, because students, my big concern is our students and their well-being. We have given them these little devices now that's so accessible. Many of our students have the internet in their pocket, basically on their cell phones. And with that, they have social media. They interact through that medium, through online websites and apps, basically. And so they interact a lot more. And that's what I mean. It's kind of a giant because it's something new to us and our generation because we did not have that. And we interacted face-to-face at functions, and they still have that, of course, but this is just bigger because it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, and it's most kids, it doesn't matter what socioeconomic status, they have access to cell phones with internet, and they can see a lot more than we got to.
All right, I'm going to put you on the I'm going to put you on the spot again on this question. If it's becoming such a problem and a negativity and causing and creating more heartache, why don't we as parents just say, no, you want a cell phone? You go pay for it. Why don't we start taking away some of the technology that might be hurting our young people?
Good question. I think we need to educate our parents a little more, and I know at our school we've got sources of strength going. We've got positive behavior intervention supports going, two nationally, recognized programs to help us just to increase positive behaviors as a whole for our kids. We also want to incorporate a lot more parental involvement and training and teaching and just education about this stuff. I think what's happened is it's just happened so quickly. A lot of parents are just, we go with the flow and we forget to think about sometimes our decisions that we make that because we don't know. It's so new, We don't know repercussions right away with anything new. And we see the convenience, and there are a whole host of great things that can be done online, great networking, great positive things, helpful things. And so I'm not saying the online world is totally negative. We just have to be aware of the dangers that exist in that.
Okay, you said something else a few moments ago I want you to elaborate on. You said, and I'm paraphrasing, you said something like, back in my day, we left school and went home to our families. Right there, I'm going to draw a definitive question for you. Why are family situations different today than they were 30, 40, 50 years ago? Aren't mom and dad doing the job today as they used to? My mom and dad were there. I had home suppers with my parents. They asked me questions about what went on. And if I was in trouble at school, believe me, the wrath of my German father was going to come down on me. What's the big change and why?
I think we've just got a faster-paced society. We have all kinds of shift work that goes around the clock. Many of our students, have parents who are attending universities, college classes. They're on. They're very busy. We have both parents needing to work now to kind of provide and just function, living and providing for their families. It's quite a faster pace, I think, and we just have so many different pulls on us in each direction. Like I said, it's very busy.
I disagree.
Sometimes too on the part of the parents. Sometimes they're a little too plugged in. Maybe I don't know. Depends on each parent. But we do sure do our best still. But it's just this newer lifestyle, I think, where tech is so big, and we're just constantly working to improve and get better and try to keep up also.
I disagree some extent to what you just said regarding difference today because mom and dad are working. No, I can't buy into that because my mother worked as a full-time secretary for a television company and my dad worked 2 jobs, but yet they always allocated the time for us. And I think a lot of it is parental responsibilities. There's a laxity there today, and I don't think you can blame it on more work. I don't think you can make it more of an excuse than it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Parents still can be parents if they put forth the time and the effort.
That's right. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you there.
But how do you go about spotting or coming across a personality that might show some emotional issues that maybe you need to take aside and talk to? How do you go about spotting these problems?
Well, I take referrals, obviously from teachers, students. I really push with all my students the importance of reporting if they see anything out of the ordinary, out of the norm for a certain student. I also just look at things that have happened that come to my attention, for example, trauma in their lives going on at the moment. We look for just differences and changes in behavior. I'm constantly trying to be out and about also to try and just check in on kids and greet them. And if I notice, we can just tell by their demeanor, body language, if there's something going on. We've established a very open and caring environment here at Burley Junior High, at least, where kids know that they can talk to adults and get help, and so many times some kids are bringing friends or they come themselves, and so that's been a great help. But yeah, we're just constantly in tune with and all staff is just awesome at this. It's recognizing, okay, so and so told me about this, or so and so went through this, or this is going on at home, and we just constantly are aware and always have our feelers out for anything that comes up.
Absolutely. I thank you for what you do, and I thank the Cassia County school system for having this being provided. I think it's an excellent service. Today, like you said, the peer pressure and all the internet and everything else that's fast-paced for our kids, I think sometimes their emotions are overlooked. And Lisa Castaneda, I say thank you for being on the program this morning, counselor from Burley Junior High School. If parents that are listening have more questions, Lisa, where can they call? Who can they call?
Oh yes, if they have a question about anything that I could help with, I'm glad to help here at Burley Junior High, 878-6613. But our district office can get them in touch with correct personnel also to assist with any kind of issue or concern.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much for coming on the program, and I hope you'll come back in the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you. Lisa Castaneda with the Burley Junior High School as a counselor and a very, very good program for our students. Thank you very much. All of this brought to you by our friends that sponsor Cassia County School Days, and they are A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and, of course, the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Thank you very much. We're going to have our business salute in just a moment. Stand by, but don't forget La Vintage Boutique. Hello, everybody over there. Elizabeth Coyle and the crew at La Vintage Boutique, 1240 Oakley in Burley. Oh, my goodness. Right now is the time to get in there and browse. Think about Aunt Martha. Think about your neighbor. Think about anybody else you've got to get gifts for. The gift-giving season is upon us, and you can go in and browse and find so many unique items. I'm telling you, antiques, home decor items, furniture, wall hangings, oh my goodness, framed artwork, all of this and more at La Vintage Boutique, 1240 Oakley Avenue in Burley, open Tuesdays through Fridays, 10:30 to 5:30, Saturdays 11 to 4, La Vintage Boutique. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and I believe we've got Juan, the old breakfast winner, over at Berry Equipment and Rental. Juan, what's going on over there?
Oh, just turning wrenches and having fun. How you doing?
Turning wrenches and having fun. Okay, buddy, where did you get all your qualifications to be a Mr. Fix-It?
Well, we went through a couple of walker schools up in Rigby, and then I had to go to Colorado for another walker training. And just a lot of online training through Honda and Kohler.
Oh, my goodness. Now, I've been telling everybody that the Burley location of Berry Equipment and Rental has a brand new remodeled repair shop. Now, sit back, take a big breath of fresh air, and tell us how great it is and what you can fix.
Well, we actually got a shop with 3 big, huge shop doors where we can fit a loader in each bay, and that's with 3 bays. And we made it state-of-the-art. So during the winter, when you come visit us, visit our shop, because our shop stays a lot warmer than our front office.
Why don't you turn the heat on in the front office?
Oh, we do, but, we got a lovely front desk lady that runs the show, and she also runs the thermostat. Okay.
Well, now, what about it if they've got something wrong with like a small engine or a lawnmower or even the big dudes, the heavy loaders? You guys can fix them all, right?
We can. We have an experienced tech in there that has a itchy finger that he wants to use his new tools, and he'll fix anything from the smallest trimmer up to the biggest loader we have.
Now, do they have to call ahead with an appointment time or talk to us about that?
No, what you can go ahead and do is just come to our shop, and you can talk to myself and my tech and explain to us what's going on. We'll give you an estimate date, what we can do, and we'll jump right on it.
Oh, man. Now, that's something a lot of people need to take advantage of. And along with the equipment repair, everything's going to break down at some time or another. You've got all the equipment rentals and sales. I want you to elaborate a little bit on that. Give us all the different types of equipment that are there to get the job done right.
Oh, definitely. These companies can't stop moving, and we don't want you to stop moving. You bring a broken excavator in, we'll let you rent out one of our excavators, and we have anything from small trimmers up to full-size loader with hay forks.
Oh, my goodness. So, basically, you've got it all. What are some of the brand names that people can associate with?
The world-famous Bobcat. Bobcat is the first skidster that was ever made, and it's been running for almost 100 years now. And we have Doosan, that's the partner brand for our Bobcat equipment, and they work great hand-in-hand, and we can get any job done.
Okay, now, if somebody like me doesn't know how to run a certain piece of equipment, you've got one of the world's largest sandboxes right out in back, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And before we send you down there, we'll give you a bottle of water and let you go have fun and learn how to run it so you can get in those tight, squeezable areas that you need to get into.
Okay. So you're going to actually put your life on the line and jump in the equipment with me and try to help me learn how to run it right.
I might stay in the cab with you, but definitely I will go out with you, and we'll make sure you're running it right.
Okay. Now, what are the hours that you're open over there, Juan?
7:30 through 5:30 through Monday through Friday, and Saturday 8 to 5.
Okay. Now, you've got 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, and Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and, of course, your location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Now, do all of the Berries have a repair shop, or are you the exclusivity of the Berry equipment and rental?
Our Twin Falls location has the same setup as we do, and they do just as great a job as we do.
I see. Well, by golly, you're a man of many knowledge and thoughts, and I know that anything that breaks down, you can fix it. How long have you been with Berry Equipment and Rental?
I'm coming on to my 3rd year here in December.
Okay. And I'm surprised you haven't tried to win one of our free breakfasts like you loaded up on last year.
You know what? I am lacking on that, and I might have dropped a pound or 2, so I need to gain it back up with one of those good breakfasts.
Okay. Berry Equipment and Rental, and I've always said they have all the equipment to get the job done right. What would you like to add to it, Juan? You got the floor.
Well, and I'd just like to let all our customers know that I am here 24/7. I love working with our equipment. And you could always take my number that's right in the front door after hours, and I'll help you out with whatever you need.
Boy, you're really a glutton for punishment. You're trying to work 24/7, 365. You must really enjoy yourself over there.
I do. It's fun to work with a different type of people with a different type of equipment.
All right. Well, Juan, get back to work. Pick up that wrench. Go get that oily rag, and by golly, have a great day.
Hey, you too. Don't work too hard.
All right, thank you. Nice young man, Juan, over at Berry Equipment and Rental, and they've got locations on South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the one we're talking to right there, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Really, really nice people. Oh, my goodness. Now, I want to remind you that this is Lunch Bunch Day, and we are going to be at Denny's Restaurant at 611 Overland in Burley, as a matter of fact, in about an hour. And we're going to have door prizes provided by Smith's Food, Handsome Mortuary, Walmart, and Stokes Groceries, and it's just a lot of fun. We all get together, average probably 55 to 60 people a month. Lots of nice people. Zeb's Lunch Bunch. But there's going to be a guy missing today, and we want to wish him well. I've said it twice before this morning, and I'll say it again, and that's my good buddy Wheels, the engineer and board op for this program. He is sick today, down in the dumps a little bit, and we wish him the very, very best. A super young man, but we have the talents of the lovely Gina Jameson over at the main studios. And Gina, thank you for the great job here this morning. You really did a wonderful deal of filling in.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Well, what are you doing in your spare time before we go to the break at the bottom of the hour? I'm sure that you're not just committed 24/7 to the radio station.
Well, I try not to be.
Okay.
In my spare time, let's see here, I got my garage cleaned out, so my Miss Bonnie Bonneville fits in there.
Uh-huh.
And then got the truck running. I've been canning and just running around doing the mom stuff.
You're not the epitome of the little Miss Prissy. You're a kind of a gal that I like, that, like my wife, you go out and get your hands dirty and enjoy it.
Exactly, because you gotta, and it's fun to be outdoors, and so definitely been enjoying this time of the year. But I tell you what, I'll be ready when canning season and gardening is done and over with.
Okay, I can understand that. Listen.
By the way, I've got some pickles for you.
I will take them. Thank you. Hey, God bless you. We're going to go to the break at the bottom of the hour. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you very much and welcome back. Kind of an abbreviated half hour, thanks to the assistance of Gina. I've got to get on the road here in a few minutes and get to Lunch Bunch, but I wanted to mention to you also about our dear friends at Lee's Furniture floors, and more. My goodness sakes, they've got all the living room groups. Oh my goodness, check out this beautiful, beautiful furniture and kind of just change the complexion of your home. Man alive, it's great. Or all the bedroom sets, or like I said earlier, the recliners or the entertainment stands. Listen. Take the time to go in and talk to the people that know furniture and furnishings. And that's, of course, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. At 459 Overland and Burley, you stop in and see them today. I heard something last night that is and was very offensive to me, and it's from, again, the Hillary campaign and the leftist elitist. I heard a couple of the so-called supporters of Hillary and the pundits that are of the Democratic side, and they were talking about a poll that was taken that showed 76% of non-college educated white males are voting for Trump. The elitists, with their snobby attitude and their noses up in the air, right away they started taking this story and distorting it, I think. I'd like your opinion on this, to the point where only uneducated people would vote for Trump. And the more they talked and the more they kept taking the shovel and digging themselves a big hole, the madder I got. Pretty soon the verbiage changed from what the poll had said, non-college educated white males, and it went to uneducated or non-educated. And right there I slammed my fist down and I said enough is enough. These people that are on the liberal left, they will find any and all sources to denigrate people that don't agree with their philosophy or their platform. And when these snobby elitists sitting there saying, well, it's only the uneducated, basically 76% of uneducated white males, and thank God this, after a few minutes, the moderator said, wait a minute, that's not what the poll said. It said non-college educated white males. It didn't say uneducated or non-educated. And it was really hard for them, the so-called elitists, to back water and say it correctly. But you know what? In this country, maybe you don't agree with this, but I am sick and tired of hearing, well, you got to go to school, Johnny. You got to pick a great university. Or, Mary, you've got to go and do this, etc. Or these kids becoming nothing more than just paid political activists at major universities and colleges, not having any goals in life, not seeing how they can better the world by becoming a great parent and taxpayer and business leader. And that's what college and university has become to a large share of the young millennials today. What about the trade schools? What about becoming an electrician, a plumber, whatever, a mechanic? They make really good money, and there's not enough of them today. I have had conversations with electricians. I have had many conversations with different plumbers, and they said nobody's getting into the field, and it's going to become increasingly tough to find somebody that's going to come to your home without charging you literally an arm and a leg. But this push to college, this push to spend $200,000 on a college education and be so far in debt you'll never see over the edge of the dirt, is stupid, and it's asinine, and it's hurting this country. Yes, I believe in a great college education if you're going there for the right reasons, the right purpose, to get the right education, to be somebody. But not just to fill your fat butt in a seat and become an activist. And this denigration of those that are plumbers, those that are electricians, or any trade job that, God bless them, we need them. And we should thank people for getting into that profession. For these elitists to sit there and run them down and say, well, they're uneducated, that's why they're voting for Trump. Or they're non-educated, that's why they're voting for Trump. That is ludicrous, and it's an attack on their personalities, and I find that obscene. I feel better now. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. By the way, quickly, I want to get this in that tonight, oh my goodness, what did I do with that note that my good friend Jerry Voss sent me? Here it is. The Joe Engel Composite Squadron, local unit of the Civil Air Patrol, is hosting an open house at 6:30 p.m. tonight at the Squadron building located at the Burley J.R. Jack Simplot Airport, and members of the squadron will be present to greet you and explain CAP's missions for America. That's going to be a nice event. Thank you, Jerry, for sending us that. In just a few minutes, we're going to wrap things up and get ready to go to Lunch Bunch, but I'll take some calls quickly, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And again, our thanks to Smith's Food King, Hanson Mortuary, Walmart, Stokes Groceries for providing our gift certificates to be given away today at Lunch Bunch. As I said earlier, Wheels is not with us. Gina, I hope he's doing better, and all indications are that he may be back in the saddle with us on Monday, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I've not heard anything different, so that's what I'm planning on, unless he fills me in this weekend, which I'm sure that he will. I'll give him a call and figure it out. So I'm assuming that he will be back into work on Monday.
Okay, is there anything you don't do over at that station?
I don't climb the towers.
Well, duh. Why would you want to?
Well, sometimes we need tower work done and the lights needs to be changed up on top, but that's one thing I don't do. I don't do the engineering part, but everything else, yes.
Who do they get to climb that horrendously tall tower?
Tom.
Do you mean to tell me that Tom goes up on the top of that tower?
Mm-hmm.
How high up off the...
He's got the harnesses and all of the rappelling gear and everything, so yeah, he gets up there.
So he really is mentally unstable. I'm kidding.
As all radio personalities usually are.
No kidding. No, how tall is that doggone tower anyway?
The ones out by the studios, I don't know, they have to be like 200 feet tall.
Oh.
Yeah, you couldn't get me up there. I don't even think I'd get up past the first rung.
And he climbed, if I get up anywhere close after the fifth tier on a haystack, you're looking at somebody that's grabbing hold of the string saying, "Get me down!"
Well, see, I'm not a big fan of heights. It sounds weird, but it makes my feet feel funny and all tingly, and I don't like heights. If I can avoid it, even if I can avoid flying a plane, I will. I don't like heights.
Will you take this as a recommendation?
Yes.
Never, ever get in a car or pickup with me when we cross a bridge.
Are you a white knuckler?
Here's the deal, and you can ask my wife, and anybody at Lunch Bunch can ask her. When I know there is a bridge coming up on the road, yours truly makes sure there is no traffic in the way. I'll slow up and let the others get around and go across the bridge first. And then I don't care what the speed limit is. Get out of my way.
So let me guess, you walking across a prime bridge and looking down is an ixnay on that.
There's no way. You'd have to drag me with a rope around my neck.
We've got a quick phone call.
Okay, quick call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Deb, you guys were talking earlier about the debate with Hillary and Trump, and I'd like to add my 2 bits to that. Zeb, we criticize him for what he could have done and should have done, but I think if you look at the end of that and you look at when she attacked him, if he had to come back and he'd have said anything to her in his temper or that, I think he'd have been really criticized by the public and other people for that. But I think the American public watched her demeanor on that. I think that's going to come back to hurt her more than ever hurt Trump on anything else he did.
I can only hope and pray that you're right. And yes, sir, I do agree with you to a certain extent. However, I think that Trump, admittedly, along with his other handlers, he did not practice the rebuttals to certain questions before the debate that he should have. And like I said earlier, when somebody in a debate feeds you a line or accusation, process it and turn it right back on them. He did not do that, and I'm hoping he can do much better the next time.
I agree with that. I think the Benghazi deal, I think he should have brought that up. And you listen to her speech about that deal and then her laughter over it and the deaths of those people. I think he should have brought that up on that deal and called her on the carpet on that, too. I think he could have hit the Benghazi deal more than he did.
Well, I agree with you, but I will say this, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on this. I think that first debate might have been his last Alamo, because most people, I think, have already made up their minds who to vote for. I'm only hoping that he can do better in this next town hall debate, but I'm wondering, with less than 40 days, if it's not too late. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, we can always hope, Zep.
Yes, sir. God bless you for your call, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice man right there. Hey, I got to get a weather forecast in here, brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Don Scarrow and the rest of his outfit, really great people. They've been your hometown custom meat processor for over 20 years. Really good folks, Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's the lovely Gina with the weather.
It looks beautiful as we are preparing for the weekend, and this high-pressure system is going to be sticking around for a couple more days, but we will be cooling off for the weekend. Looks like partly cloudy skies for today, high of 77 with an overnight low of 49, a little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the southeast, right around 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 76, overnight low of 53. For the weekend, mostly sunny skies for Saturday, winds out of the west, right around 10 miles an hour, high of 67 with an overnight low of 41. Mostly sunny and 68 for Sunday, and then partly cloudy and 55 for Monday, plus the winds are going to be picking up for Monday as well. Yesterday's high was 81, the overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Gina, thank you, and brought to you by Scarrows Meats in Jerome, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. In just a moment, I'm going to take off for our lunch bunch today, and we urge you to be there. We've got a lot of things coming up next week on the program, and I wanted to leave you with this. Next Monday on the program, of course, we're going to have the Senior Junction and the Alliance Defending Freedom, and we're also working on getting some of the folks that are really involved with setting up some of the debates for both Hillary and Donald Trump. And then we're also next week going to be talking to Norm Simanko over the waters of the United States and how the EPA is infringing on all of our freedoms. Hopefully going to have Fred Wood on the phone, Steve Beeman. We've got a full plate next week of great guests from all around the United States. Don't forget our major sponsor with their huge fall tire sale going on right now, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh my goodness, they've got all the tires for all your driving needs with all the different tread designs. Oh, you'd better check it out today. Stop in and ask about tires that you need for your driving conditions. And don't forget, too, they've got the very best in brake service, professionally trained technicians, and they give free brake inspections and estimates, and they only have the best of premium quality parts with the best brake industry warranty in the industry. They are good, along with front-end alignments, shocks and struts, and batteries, all of this and more, especially the best in service. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Gina, thank you very much for covering me a little bit at the end of this program with some music and other things. So I'm going to jump in my old four-wheeled Wonder and drive the speed limit to Burley for lunch bunch. You're chuckling. I don't like that.
I just know you too well.
Thank you. And I wish you a very blessed weekend, and our very best thoughts and prayers go out to Wheels. Hopefully he'll be back next week. Thanks, Gina. God bless everybody, and remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be.